Hondas and Harleys have always been about as similar as the Beach Boys were to the Rolling Stones. But in 1985, Honda designers must have been listening to them both, because they created a motorcycle from the verbal design of the Beach Boys song Little Honda, and threw in some bad boy image from the Stones. They wanted it to capture that rebellious element from the old movies, too. Now what to call it? The Honda Brando? The Honda Dean? No. Of course, the Honda Rebel. They made it so small and underpowered, it was almost a farce on chrome cruisers. The Rebel had a ripping 234cc engine with unstoppable stump-pulling horsepower in the double digits, around 17 if the wind was low. One would think this machine would have died a quick death, but no. It was bought by beginners everywhere, as well as MSF training schools, and even a metro police force. Well, this video is not about that bike. It's about the new Rebel 1100 DCT.
Hey there, friends, fans, and neighbors. Once again, you're riding with Marshall, and today we're riding something that's taken me a while to get my hands on. This is a Honda Rebel 1100 DCT model. DCT is dual clutch transmission, which means automatic. And before you frown on it, you might consider it might be the future of motorcycling, as more and more people find out how easy they are in your hands once you're in stop-and-go traffic. So thanks to a certain pandemic getting in the way of Japan producing and putting these out, as well as our freight issues of getting things in, this is the first one I've seen in a year. And let's take a look at it, and let's take it for a ride.
First of all, this bike looks nothing like the old Rebel, and that's a good thing. We old guys love us some chrome, except on our heads. But we have to admit that chrome is dead to most under 50. Multifaceted headlights are in, as is an exposed frame, blacked out engines and components. This color is Bordeaux red metallic, but I'm guessing the most popular color will be metallic black. Water-cooled engines are in. They suppress vibration and engine sounds while adding horsepower and engine longevity. The engine is a 1084cc parallel twin, the same one in the world-proven Africa twin, but tuned for cruising. This is no experimental first-year design. It's a well-proven engine. It, of course, has the Africa twin's dual-clutch transmission, too. Again, a well-proven design. I've owned 2 DCTs myself, and this one's even better. On the top is a 3.6-gallon tank, and a somewhat spongy seat. That's a step up from the one on the Rebel 300, I believe. That seat felt very rigid. The shocks are from Showa, and the rear has 3.7 inches of travel compared to the new Harley Sportster S, which has only 2 inches before you were bouncing out of the seat. You will hear the low rumble from the shotgun exhaust later when I ride this. Although my Fury has a shaft drive at a similar price point, this one is chain-driven. This bike has ride modes and more tech, though, so there's where the money went. Here you see the parking brake and the left-hand controls. Most are self-explanatory, except the mode button, the up-down selector, and the minus paddle shifter you're looking at. The upshift paddle is on the unseen side. The right-hand controls have the usual start and run switches, but also an automatic or manual gear switch, although the A looks like an R to me. The N is for neutral and the D is for drive. Yes, finding neutral is as easy as pressing a button. On the dash, there is a lot to take in. Anti-reflective glass would certainly help, and it would keep me out of this picture. The first thing I noticed, though, is that it is blinking at me for more fuel. Let's fix that and try again. So, if you press the mode button enough times, you cycle through the odometer displays. Then the little arrow cursor moves up a line, and you can select a different ride mode. Your choices are Standard, Rain, User Defined, or back to the beginning at Sport mode. We'll try these in a minute. Here's a special weirdness. The foot pegs took me a few mounts to train my feet as to where they are. The pegs are not mounted to the frame or the engine. They have these brackets, like they were added as an afterthought when they missed them in the original drawings and added them later. Whoops, we forgot foot pegs. So let's get going. Turn the key and the system boots up and is ready to be started. Press the starter. Release the parking brake. Unlike the DCT bikes I've owned before, it is now a two-handed operation. See that side stand? As I've learned the hard way, you can't put it in drive with the side stand down. So press the D button for drive, and off we go with a simple throttle twist. I notice now while reviewing the video that I'm in 6th gear at only 35 miles per hour. But with 1100cc or so, I don't notice any lugging like I did on my old 700 DCTs. I'm in standard mode, whose goal is to use the least gas while running smoothly and delivering enough power to meet my throttle demands. If I want to rev it higher for longer, I will switch to sport mode. The bike is barely 500 pounds and turns in sharply. The brakes are smooth and not grabby. The engine has so much pull, 87 ponies and 72-pound torqueys, the front lifts a little when you give it some gas, but not off the ground. Traction control will prevent wheelies. You can turn traction control down though, and it is surprisingly fast. In the rain, or in my case a school zone, the rain riding mode will keep you at a consistent pace. You can shift ride modes on the fly, but it might take a second to sync. Yes, it can creep at low speeds, but I also mentioned it was fast, didn't I? 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds fast. This is a Rebel, right? Remember, you have no clutch to pull in, and the computer is way faster at switching gears than you are. Old school bikers will call it a scooter, but you can't hear them if they are way back in your rear view. I know I say I love most of the bikes I ride. I actually really do love most of the bikes that I ride. But I really, really love this one too. It does everything very, very well. I can stand up without needing bar risers. The seat has been comfortable for over half an hour of riding. My knees aren't resting on anything hard or chrome covered. The sound is a low pitch with no helmet rattling percussions. Give me a windshield and a tail bag, and I'm good all day. If I didn't already have so many bikes in the garage. Sigh. Keep your chin up in the curves of the road and in the curves of life. Oh, and send me some money to buy this. 10,000 should be enough, I'll cover the rest. Unlike the Rolling Stones, I can get some satisfaction.